everybody. Good morning and welcome to another Saturday guest speaking event presented by Mothers Against Addiction. My name is Eva Story. I'm the CEO with Mothers Against Addiction. We like to call our organization MA. That's our acronym, MAAA. Mothers Against Addiction is a national nonprofit with a global wide mission dedicated to helping all mothers and families affected by addiction. We offer support to mothers struggling with addictions and as well as those that lose their children to addiction or child. We believe that mothers are the key to ending the cycle of addiction, and we are committed to helping them help and rebuild their lives. It's our gift back to the communities to provide free online events like this, one's this Saturday. It's part of our resources to help those impacted by addiction. If you're a returning visitor, I want to say welcome back. If you're new and here for the first time, we want to welcome you to our family. And just some quick reminders on how our sessions go. Our sessions are valuable for all our community members. We keep them confidential. We do record these sessions so that we post on our website 24/7 for you to invite others or go back and enjoy. And if you miss the session, you can come on and get to see all our guest speakers that have spoken previously. As you can see, me and the speaker are pinned. Your video, you can leave off or you can leave on. Don't worry, you will not be recorded. When it comes to interview times, you can chat your questions. That would be towards the end of our interview type of style session. So around the 10 to 15 minute marker. And then you can, or more than welcome to unmute yourself as well. So with that all being said, let's dive into it with our guest speaker of the week, Jennifer McCutcheon. She's the recovering and trauma coach, a motivational speaker on an international level. I'm so excited to have her. I really wanted to speak to her. She's an author, as seen on NBC, ABC, CBS, and Fox News. She's stationed in Ontario, Canada, but she has a global-wide mission as well. Jennifer helps families through the trap of addiction to foster healing and recovery for their entire family. And it's so nice to have you today, Jennifer. I was really looking forward to speaking to you. Can you start by telling us a little bit about yourself, your background, your organization?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here. And this is really my passion is to have these conversations and to talk with other family members and mothers that are experiencing the impacts of a child's addiction to find a new way forward. So yeah, so great to be here. My name is Jen McCutcheon. As said, I'm a spiritual recovery and trauma healing coach. I work with mothers who are impacted by a child's addiction to reclaim their peace with the sole purpose of breaking the cycles to restore harmony back in our lives and to actually have impact and influence in helping our children, encouraging our children, influencing our children towards recovery. Because ultimately, that's as a mother what I wanted. My story is, I have a child who has struggled with addiction for the last 10 years. He started at 15 years old into this journey of mental health and addiction. He's now 25. It was the most difficult experience of my life. And with that being said, I also have two ex-husbands who were impacted by addiction. So there was a period of time over the last 20 years where I was surrounded by addiction and the impacts of it. The consequences of my loved ones' addictions were impacting me to a devastating level. I recognized through the journey, with my son especially, it really brought me to my knees. It was so challenging on so many levels. And I know every mom in here understands that because as mothers of a child struggling with addiction, we actually don't have to say a lot. We know what each other are going through. It's like this bond that we have where it's an unspoken language and nobody else really understands it except those of us that are in it. And while many of us say we don't want to be here, I believe we are here for a reason, that there is a purpose behind it. And through my own journey of hitting my own rock bottom, pivotal point, whatever you want to call it, there was enough pain and suffering that I decided I needed to change because what I was doing wasn't working. And that began my healing and recovery journey, where I started to really explore different modalities of healing, of mindset, of perspectives around myself and addiction and mental health that, really led me to rediscovering myself because I'd completely lost myself, my identity, who I was. on this mission to try to save my son from addiction. And, through all my training, all my studies, all my own healing journey, I recognized that I had become enmeshed in the cycles. I had become entangled in the cycles, not just of enabling an addiction, but of trauma. And what I've learned in my on my journey is that the core of addiction is trauma, is pain. And when we can really learn to understand this and come from a place of self-awareness, which is what I started to discover in myself, is my self-discovery, self-awareness, to be able to shift and change the dynamics with addiction. And as I began my healing journey, I recognized the impact it was having in a positive way on my son and my entire family. So, after many years of my own journey, I recognized that I had a lot of tools and strategies that could actually help other people. And I started to offer my services through yoga and breathwork and meditation, which slowly evolved into the founding of Enable No More Radiant Recovery programs. And that's how I'm here today. I'm now sharing my message, sharing these strategies and tools because I don't want to keep them to myself. I know the pain and suffering that families are experiencing. And I know that there's a new way to move through it to help ourselves and to help our children to find recovery and healing.
That's just it's amazing. And everything that you've accomplished. I mean, I couldn't even tell the way you're smiling, you're vibrant, you're glowing. It just amazes me how you got to that point, to this point. Could you share about your foundation, Enable No More? What gravitated you to doing that? I know that you help out a lot of communities, and talk about the individuals you serve. What are the challenges faced by the groups?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Enable No More was founded through, again, my own journey of really struggling, of really finding myself stuck in these patterns. And this is the women that I'm working with, women who are at a point on this journey. Most of the women that I work with have come to me after many years of deep suffering. They have tried everything that they can think of. They have sacrificed their health, their happiness, their relationships. They are recognizing that they are repeating the same cycles. It's like Groundhog Day. They see it, they know what they're doing, they know that they're enabling, but they don't know how to stop. They know that something has to change, but they're not quite sure what to do or how to do it. And they come to me because there is this understanding that they know they have to change, and they're looking for solutions. They're not quite sure how to do it. And I get that because there's this distorted view. And this is, I talk about this, just like our kids' perspective and vision is blurred by substance. As parents, as family members, as a loved one, loving a loved one in addiction, our lens gets distorted too. Our view of reality becomes distorted, not by substance, but of codependency, which is emotional addiction. Codependency is emotional addiction. And this isn't a blame or shame. This is more of an awareness tool that 9 out of 10 people are trapped in codependency. And codependency is more than what you think codependency is. And it gets into all aspects of your life. So I work with women who are ready to like really stand up and take charge of their life, knowing that they are part of the contributing factor of the cycles of suffering that they're experiencing. And they're ready to do more. I always say recovery is the moment that you believe that you are worthy of being saved. And for mothers on this journey, there is a time where you will come to where you say, I am worthy of more than what I'm experiencing. And you also are ready to step up in a different way to take a new approach. That's really the core of my messaging, is just like our kids. We are on the same path in a different way. And when we are ready to reclaim our life, it means we're ready to take back our worth and take back our power from addiction. And we become living examples to show our children what recovery actually looks like. So we have to be the ones to go first.
Oh, well, I really commend that because everything that you do, when I was dissecting your website, I was going over it and I was trying to pick out all the important aspects of it. And all of it is just wonderful. How would anybody want to join or take a master class from you? But I want to thank you for your vulnerability that you share and for the whole world to see because it's very relatable and relatability is what really people are looking for. I feel with coming from that struggling background, and you talk about your past marriages to your son. What advice do you have for struggling mothers that are maybe in the first stages of this type of recovery in their own child? What advice or tips would you have for that mother?
My advice and tips would be because I always everything that I talk about is stuff that I've experienced. And I was in such resistance. Like I went to war with addiction. And that was my mindset. That was my approach. I am going to beat it. I am not going to let it take my child. And if I could go back, and this is the advice that I'd give mothers, is to be open to accepting your child's addiction, accepting your child exactly where they are. It's not that we don't want to, it's not that we're not mothers against addiction. It's that we are fighting addiction, not our children. And to be able to fight addiction, we have to accept addiction. So when you're in resistance to what is actually happening is your child is struggling with substance. Your child is struggling with substance because it is a solution to them. It is giving them something that they need, whether we understand it or we don't understand it. It is a solution. It is solving something for them. It is giving them relief from pain, or it is helping them to have pleasure in their life. So if we can look at it as there is a reason for the behavior, the substance abuse makes sense. There's a reason, there's a why. It's giving them something. So if you can come from a place of wanting to explore and get really curious about why your child is seeking substance from a place of compassion and love, you are going to break through very more than ever the suffering. You're going to avoid and prevent unnecessary suffering by accepting where your child is instead of resisting it. And this is honestly the most challenging thing that I see women, mothers, have to come to from this place of acceptance. I struggled with it for years, and I almost died in resistance to accepting my son's addiction. So that would be my biggest advice, is try to come from a place of inquiry to really truly understand what the reason is for your child seeking substance to relieve themselves from some pain or seeking some type of pleasure.
Those are very powerful words. We get a lot of questions from uh, different women. What tips or at least I would say more words of encouragement for those that have had, let's say, a child that's back and forth in rehab and they wanna make sure this one's gonna stick, this one's gonna stay, but they need self-care, and what a wonderful time to have you on during September's a month of, self-care awareness, it's a month of, recovery, and it's a month of, suicide awareness, so
Yes.
this is a very touchy month, and so, and plus it's gravitating toward the holiday times. What words of encouragement would you give those mothers that, their child has been in multiple times of rehab and they're just starting that over again, but they have so much worry in them. Um, and that could hinder their mind, body, and soul. When the mind suffers, the body cries out. Is there anything that your organization can do for them or advice that you would give them?
Yeah, yes, absolutely. I know that feeling well when our children are, again, moving through recovery is practice. And practice comes with some mistakes. And when we are able to release expectation, expectation is a huge part of our suffering because we expect they're going into detox, they're going into treatment. Whew, I can relax. Yes, we can relax, but there's an expectation that things are just going to be smooth sailing from here. So, part of it is releasing expectation. Raising your hopes is awesome. Have high hopes, but release expectation because it takes the pressure off of your child to get it right the first time. It's like if I asked you to sit at a piano and learn a new piece, or take your, maybe it's baseball, maybe it's, dance, whatever it is, practice. You're not going to get it right off the bat. We have this expectation, and it's a belief system that has been programmed into us that our kids go to recovery, they go to treatment, everything's going to be fine. And this is the biggest misconception that keeps us as family members stuck in suffering and pain and worry and hardship. So releasing expectations and taking time to focus on your own self-care. The most important thing, I say this to every woman that comes comes across my path. The most important thing that you could do to have impact and help your child is to work your own recovery. And again, we're not recovering necessarily from substance. Maybe some of us are struggling with our own substance misuse because it's a coping mechanism. Maybe we're struggling with our own substance abuse problems. Maybe we're just struggling with codependency, wherever you are on the journey. Your own healing, self-discovery, self-awareness, is going to be more impactful than anything else that you can do. As long as we focus on our children and everything outside of ourselves, we are avoiding our own inner pain, which is being triggered. Your prioritization of your own health and wellness and healing and recovery is the guiding light for your children.
Wow, you really hit the nail on the head. There are some mothers that they themselves may be struggling with their own addiction. What if they have younger children and they lose their child to addiction, maybe custody? What do you see the biggest gaps in addiction support and resources today to current date? Maybe you can reflect from years later how it was, but to present date, how is your organization addressing them? And then can you identify anything else or better steps that you see as a professional uh, that can be taken with other organizations?
Great questions. So I think, the misconceptions that are out there and that I've witnessed in my journey with not only my ex-husbands, but my son is, the medical system. I know that there's so many different perspectives, but I really see, still the stigma that is attached to it for our loved ones in addiction and the family members that are experiencing the impact of it. The misconception that this is a choice, that our loved ones or people in addiction are choosing to be addicted, is a huge misconception that causes so much suffering, isolation, and shame, which keeps us trapped in the cycles. The other one is that, addiction this is to a medical perspective. And while part of this is true, the first one, I do not believe it is not a choice. The second misconception that can really put people in a box and family members in a box is that, addiction is a brain disease or that it is a genetic disease. They're saying like 75% is genetics. Well, this may be true for some people. It limits us and it puts chains on us that we are powerless to change it. I believe that we have a lot of power, even if it is in genetics, because I also work on a deeper level of trauma healing on our ancestral lineage, which is addiction. Addiction is not just genetics, it is a trauma genetic. It is a lineage of passed down pain from our ancestors. So when we are able to heal the body energetically, release energies that we have carried, like my grandmother's grandmother's grandmother, right? I'm carrying that with me. I can release that. So we don't have to be chained. That second one, the misconception that it's a brain disease, it limits us. It keeps us chained to this is who I am. And I don't believe that I am addiction. I don't believe my son is addiction. I believe that we are experiencing addiction. And there is a big difference. And the difference is it empowers us to take action, to do things to help ourselves and our loved ones. So the biggest thing that I've witnessed is just the limitations that the system puts on family members and loved ones of putting us in a box. There is not just one way of healing and overcoming addiction. There are many ways, and you have to find the shoe that fits. And there are many shoes that you can try, and you don't stop until you find the shoe that fits. I'm so passionate about this. Yeah.
I can tell because I've never heard it expressed that way. And you're right. There are so many other options in different ways. So it sounds like you take a customizable approach with the people you meet because
I
it's
do.
amazing.
Yeah, I have many different tools. Like there's so many different tools. Like we really work on mindset, awareness, mindfulness, self-awareness. Many different forms of meditation. Like meditation isn't just sitting in quiet. I have moving meditations. We have chanting meditations because what we're really wanting to do with soul recovery, recovery to me is not recovery from substance. That is sobriety. Sobriety is the absence of substance. Recovery to me is soul recovery. It is reconnecting to who you are, your authentic self and your divine essence, whatever your higher power is, God, source, universe, spirit, whatever it is for you. When we reconnect to that power source, there is nothing that we can't overcome. And it doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean you're not going to have challenges in your life. It's that you're going to have the tools and the inner peace and inner knowing and inner wisdom to be able to move through it, whatever the challenge is, to find your way through the other side.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, it gives me goosebumps because, yeah, you're right. I mean, it makes so much sense when you say sobriety is just the absence of substance, but you need to take it to a different level, a different tier, and you've got to dig deep. I knew you were going to be such a thoughtful person about speaking to us today about this. And there's so much more. I was going to ask you next about your resources. They're there on your side. But can you tell us a little bit about your masterclass coming up September 30th?
Yeah, so September 30th is the Path to Peace Masterclass. This is a masterclass that's designed to help you understand, again, the misconceptions, the limiting beliefs that are blocking us from our peace. When we understand what is blocking our peace, the mindset, the belief systems, we're able to reprogram our subconscious mind. This is a deeper level of the work that I do, is science-based reprogramming, rewiring of the neural pathways of the brain. But first we have to be aware of what those belief systems and thoughts are that are keeping us stuck in the same repetitive loop. So we talk about the misconceptions, and then we also work through what you can do right now, starting today, to create your own path to peace. And you don't have to do it alone. You can do it in community, just like you guys have a community, coming together with other like-minded people, women on the same mission. There's nothing that you can't overcome.
Oh, that's
But
amazing.
yeah, I'd love to have, if anybody wants to join me, we've still got registration open. It's 7 p.m. September 30th Eastern Standard Time. Love to have you join us.
And tell us about your book. We do have a book club here that we're have brought forth to light. But tell us about a little bit of a snippet of your book and what we can expect from it.
Yes, a bigger mission is a collaboration of 12 authors, including myself. And it's really individual stories. It's almost like a chicken soup for the soul, but it's talking about how trauma, so the challenges that we face, the pain that we all experience, because comes with all sorts of different challenges and trauma and pain. And we have the ability to shift again our mindset and look at it from, what have I learned from the things that I've experienced in my life? The hardest things in my life are actually calling me, are actually birthing a bigger mission. And how by just shifting your mindset and looking at it from a new perspective, and hearing stories of people that have gone through really difficult things and are now using those challenges to serve our humanity, to serve in one way or another, to change the way that we are moving through life, and helping other people recognize they don't have to be victimized by their past, their traumas, their pain. They can actually use them to create and make this world a better place for themselves and for their loved ones, and continuing through service like coaching or whatever it is. It could be painting, it could be art, like some type of artistic ability that you have that is birthed through your trauma. So it can come in all sorts of different shapes and sizes, but a bigger mission is something that I believe we are all being asked to step into, and it's by really identifying the challenges that you've been through and being able to see them as a gift to be able to bring it back and serve others.
Oh, that's just so great. We are getting questions in the chat, but I do want to ask you though. I know you're a very busy person. You've been through a lot. You've been through all your hurdles. You've been there and done that. And now you're helping so many and you're hearing people in need. That's a lot of energy, you know. I'm going to ask you on a personal level, what do you do? What does Jennifer do morning and night? Like, is there any routine that you checkpoint yourself? You clear your mind. It's just you dealing with your higher powers, is you dealing with your universe, or however you want to phrase that. But is there a little routine we can see that other busy, it could help other busy people like yourself that may be at the end of the recovery wanting to become motivational speakers themselves? Um, what is it that you do, maybe the top 2 things at night or some type of routine you have?
Yeah, I have. So I call it my morning mindset routine. And this is what I work women to develop ones that work for them because one size doesn't fit all. But for me, I wake up in the morning and before my feet even hit the ground, I come to consciousness. I come to connect with myself through just even 3 cycles of conscious breath. So breathing, connecting, like I have to close my eyes because it really is an inward connection, coming into some gratitude. What am I grateful for? And visualizing what my day is going to look like. So I visualize by and manifest what my day will look like, from taking, visualizing myself, grabbing my coffee, looking out the window, connecting with, nature. Throughout my entire day, I have rituals. So I will pause, which is the power of the pause, at multiple different times through my day. When I recognize that I'm feeling overwhelmed, when I'm feeling a little bit of stress, if I have a difficult phone call, I pause and I go into either breath work and a short meditation. And the more that you do these types of rituals throughout your day, they don't have to be some, when I first started doing this, I would have to sit for like 20 minutes to calm my central nervous system. Now I recognize my central nervous system is reacting and I can come to a breath work for 30 seconds or a minute and be able to center myself and balance the central nervous system. So these are powerful things that I do every single day. Meditation, breath work. I work with Qigong. I work with different lineages of yoga. So Kundalini yoga, lots of different tools. So many tapping, EFT. There's so many different things. So yeah, the more things you can have in your toolbox, the better.
That sounds great. We're about to get into our Q&A, so anybody can chat in their questions, or you can unmute your mic, just raise your little emoticon hand. You may have already kind of answered this a little. There is one question from an attendee named Nubia. She asks, how do you stay motivated to help others, especially when you encounter setbacks or challenges in your own life?
Mm, thank you, Nubia. That's a beautiful question. Again, when we come back to what we're here for, so that bigger mission, there's a reason why you're here, Nubia, why you're experiencing what you're experiencing, and you have so much wisdom. You have everything that you have been through. You have gained so much wisdom that allows you to be that shining light. And even for me, I'm still on this journey with you guys. My son still is struggling at different levels and times with addiction and substance. Like he's relapsed, he's in recovery, he's on the journey, as am I. And there's moments where, yeah, my world is rocked and I have to come back and center. And during those times, I have to focus on me and continue to show up, because when I'm connected with my purpose and my bigger mission, you will continue to want to move forward. And that means taking a pause for myself. So if you're overwhelmed, if you're experiencing hardships, it's okay to press pause and recenter, connect with yourself and stay connected to that purpose, the why you're going through what you're going through, to continue your own healing and then be able to want to and feel that service well up within you to share that with other people.
Thank you for that. We do have more questions coming in. Um, for those that are chiming in too, we're here with Jennifer McCutcheon. She is a spiritual recovery and trauma coach. We are the questions part of it, so feel free to ask and read about her in our chat portion of here. Jennifer, This question is for you from Larissa. She's one of our own and one of our board members. She's just a wonderful person. Thank you, she says, for being a role model. How to reclaim your power, peace, and purpose. She said her question is, what are some common patterns of codependency and that you see in mothers of addicts? And how do you help them break those cycles?
Great question, Larissa. Yeah, thank you so much. So the patterns of codependency is the belief, this is again a belief system that we need our children to be okay for us to be okay. We need them to be in recovery for us to be okay. This keeps us stuck in the cycles. And this is where we are emotionally in addiction with our children. We are depending on them to be okay, just like they are depending on substance to be okay. So when we can recognize that we are handing our power over to something outside of ourselves, codependency is when we're placing our power and giving it away to addiction, to our children. We are no longer in control of our emotions, our thoughts, or ourselves. We're disconnected from ourselves. So when we can recognize when we are depending on somebody else for our peace, for our happiness, we can catch. This is what I call spot and stop. When you can spot yourself handing away your power, your peace to somebody else to feel okay, you can, through awareness, go, I'm going to take that back. Thank you very much. And I can be okay. This is the power of doing your own work. When you are working your own healing and recovery, you don't need to rely on anybody or anything for your peace or purpose. You are in control. You're in the driver's seat of your life. And when we're in the driver's seat of our lives, we can overcome anything. So it's spotting and stopping the codependency. Now, codependency, this is another way to look at codependency, which really shifted my understanding of codependency. Because you think, okay, what does that mean? What's my power? Placing my power outside of myself. Codependency is also a way that we regulate our own central nervous system. So here, I'll give you an example. My son is struggling. He's not in a good mental place. I'm reacting, I'm being triggered, and I'm feeling it through my entire body. I have to try to fix him, help him feel better so that I can balance and calm down my own central nervous system. So I am then give him money, or I drive him somewhere that he's being, demanding me to drive him, whatever the circumstances, right? I do that as an attempt to calm my own central nervous system. So anytime that you are doing something to find relief for yourself, you are stuck in addiction and codependency. They're the same thing. One's emotional addiction, and the other is substance related or gaming or whatever the addiction is. That perspective helped me to understand all the different ways in my life that I am codependent, and I am experiencing codependency, because it's not just with your loved one. Addiction is kind of infiltrates all areas of your life.
Hmm. Oh gosh, I could speak to you for hours. I know we could speak to her for hours, but we're gonna move right along. You have comments and you have questions. This is a comment and a question. Michael says, "Thank you, Jennifer. I learned more in this time about addiction and recovery than I have in all my years." Wow. And then they ask a question. I understand you're a dog lover. Is there a way dogs can be used during recovery, similar to having a support dog that disabled people use?
Oh my goodness, yes. I mean, we were talking about this before we came live, because I've got a little puppy under my lap here somewhere. Anytime that we can come to the present moment, we can connect to our truth. We can connect to a place of peace within ourselves. Mindfulness is a tool to reconnect to who you are, your true authentic self. So if you have a puppy, an animal, a kitten, a gerbil, a bird, like whatever it is, playing with a little dog, taking a dog for a walk, connecting and being present is powerful, and animals give you unconditional love, which is what we are all aiming for, is to love ourselves unconditionally and love others unconditionally. So they can teach us so much about the power of love. Absolutely. Animals are incredibly healing.
That was a good question.
Amazing question. Thank you, Michael.
You've getting your Nubia says thank you. You're amazing. You're inspiring. You're a role model. Are there any other questions for our guest speaker today? You can unmute your mic if you feel like you don't want to chat it. You don't have to put your video on. That's okay. In the meantime, uh, while the questions are generating, I wanted to ask you about your freedom coaching program enrollment. How long is that lasting? Is it always be open to the public? Is it 24/7, or do you have a time slot that you stop at a stopping point?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So let me just give a little context about the Freedom Group Coaching Program. So it's an 8-week container. I have a fall enrollment. So it will be, we start October the 7th. So it's a fall enrollment. There'll be another one offered probably in the new year. I haven't got a date set for it yet. Um, but the Freedom Group Coaching Program is an 8-week group coaching container where we dive into the 7 traps of addiction. So I've identified through my own journey and all the clients that I've worked with over the years that there are 7 traps of addiction that keep you and your loved one repeating these cycles. Through awareness and understanding, we are able to learn what we can do to spot and stop the traps so that we are actually able to see our children when they are trapped in one of the cycles, and we can identify when we ourselves are trapped in one of the cycles. Through the awareness, we're able to then take action. So I provide tools and strategies to help you to implement these changes for yourself, which directly impact your child, because you're no longer going to be engaging with addiction or your child in these unconscious patterns that we get into. So I also allow or offer, there's 7 spiritual practices that you will learn over the 8 weeks to help you to regulate your own central nervous system, to come back into a place of power where you're no longer looking outside of yourself to find relief. You are able to do that for yourself. So it's an 8-week program. Within the container, you also have this one-on-one coaching with me, which is amazing. So you get to bring it. I have hot seats where, where you're dealing with something with your child this week and you're looking for support. You get to come in and have guided walkthrough, either finding clarity, or sometimes there's deep trauma healing that goes on in the container too. It's very powerful. So the container is open right now. We start October 7th at 7 p.m. So if you're interested in joining, please direct message me or send me an email. I know the link is here. Get in contact with me. I'm happy to jump on the call if you have any questions. And it's an incredible, incredible value for the amount of journaling prompts, meditations. There's so much in there. I'm really, really excited about this program. It's very transformative. The people that have joined it have found massive transformation in a very short period of time. And that's the message. We don't have to continue to suffer. We can reclaim our own freedom. Oh, you're on mute. Eva, you're on mute somehow.
Thank you. My goodness. I wanted to give you the floor. I just wanted to say thank you so much. We're going to be putting that on our website, and then we're going to have that resources for the public to funnel through. Mothers Against Addiction to be connected to you. You do have a comment from Larissa as well. She says, thank you so much, Jennifer, for sharing such spiritual wisdom about emotional addiction. And Heather has a question. She says, are there other things we can do to step away from an ongoing issue you're trying to walk away from? That could be related to struggling.
Yeah. Heather, can you give me a little context? Can you give me an example so I can maybe give you a little bit more guidance there?
Like you're in an argument with somebody and you're trying to walk away from that argument, in a heated argument, and you're trying to just shut it down and say, you don't want to agree with them and you don't want to disagree with them. You're just trying to walk away.
Yes, yes. So I think that's a challenging place to be, especially when you have somebody that's wanting to engage. And this is where coming to a place of really being firm in your boundaries, which is something we work on in a big way, the Building Boundaries Blueprint in the Freedom Group coaching program, because nobody teaches us how to set boundaries. We're always told you got to set boundaries, but nobody tells you how to set a boundary. Yeah. I mean, again, this is me. Hi, my name's Jen. I was a non-boundary setting person for the longest time. So, having that place of practice, these are skills that we have to learn and we have to practice them, and finding confidence within ourselves to be able to stand in that power in that moment, to say to that person, listen, I value what you want, what you're trying to say, but until you are able to speak to me in such and such manner, I'm going to walk away, and we will resume this conversation when we're both in a better place to have a purposeful conversation. And it's getting really confident. You can't say that if you are feeling like you aren't worthy of saying that. So recovery really is, again, this I am worthy of being saved. And number one, you're saving yourself. And when you know your why behind your boundary, it flows off your lips with like this beautiful, graceful way. I can tell you now, I mean, boundaries are still a struggle for me at times in different areas of my life, because it's a practice, and it's me still reclaiming my worth in many different areas of my life. So really, practice makes perfect, but knowing how to set a boundary and having a strategy, a framework, so that you can set a boundary many different aspects and ways in your life. I hope that helps, Heather.
Thank you for that question, Heather. And we still have the floor open for some questions. Let us know. In the meantime, your Bigger Mission book, that's already out on Amazon. It's a Bigger Mission. I put the link out there. We're going to go ahead and put that on the website, like I said. We do have a book club every first Saturday of the month. And we have a team leading that. Right now, we're on a different book, but would love to read yours and bring you back as a guest speaking author, and pick your brain about what you actually put in a physical book. And we do like to ask you one day, Tuesday nights are our support group meetings. We moved it from a Monday night. It's at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time for women to share. We keep it very free flowing, but we also like to provide practical tips. And one day, if you want to facilitate, have the floor, we'd love to have you back. I know that other women would be asking about you, and some if they couldn't make it today due to working or anything like that. We're going to have this recorded on our website for you to share to others too, Jennifer, and for the world to see you as well. So your platform is really big, and we're thankful for that. We're a nonprofit organization. We're volunteers. We put our donation link there on the side. It's only if you feel the need, but everything is free for our mothers. Free online guest speaking events. Soon to have lunch and learns. And somebody's asking this, will this be your winter in Ontario, Canada? I'm getting all sorts of questions.
Yes, we're yeah, so right now it's fall, but winter's, yeah, we're coming into our winter. It's actually beautiful here today. It's sunny and warm. It's like a summer day, but yeah, it will turn quick and it will be chilly very soon.
Like I said before we went live, I couldn't tell. I'm dressed in Texas like I should be where you're at, and you're dressed in Canada like where you should be at here. So I couldn't tell. You look like you're in a tropical setting. You did not know. It's like, wait a minute, she's from Canada. But these are all very important things. Larissa is asking another question. She goes, Jennifer, as a mother who has personally faced the challenge of a child struggling with addiction, have you been able to have open, deep, and meaningful conversations with your son about his addiction? If so, how do you approach those conversations? That's a very good question. And how has that impacted your relationship and his recovery?
Mhm. This is such a powerful question. Thank you. So, yes, I mean, I've had really deep, meaningful conversations with my son, and we have really been going through the journey of healing and recovery together, but individually. So, and again, this is where, I'm realizing as I continue this journey that it is not linear, right? This journey is not linear. So there are times where I have to recognize where my son is going through a deep healing process, where we are maybe not communicating as much because he is doing his own inner work. And then there's times where I've been in my healing process where I've actually had to take steps back from him because we're at different places. So yeah, the conversations are very deep. And how do you approach these conversations? This is where I believe that, we can learn communication skills through many different, like you can Google communication skills. And I do work with women in my groups around communication skills. What I have learned and what I teach is that when we learn to communicate from a loving and compassionate place with ourselves, we can have conversations with our loved ones in the same way. So instead of learning how to talk to him, I've learned how to talk to myself and hold space for myself, for my emotions, for all of the emotions, the anger, the frustration, the sadness, the grief, so that when I'm talking with my son, I am able to hold space for his anger, his emotions. It doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with his belief systems, but I can listen from a place of compassion and inquiry to try to understand on a deeper level. And this type of awareness and this type of consciousness has helped us talk about things that we would never have been able to speak about before. And that's the power of doing your own work. And that's what I would say is different with my coaching is I'm not teaching you how to talk in a way to get your child to talk to you. I'm teaching you how to talk with yourself, love yourself, connect with yourself, heal yourself so that you can be the space holder for your child and other people to show up as they are. Again, accepting as they are and be able to hold that space for them, which allows a place for healing. So, and I always say, I don't have this all figured out, guys. Like, I am here with you. There are still times where we struggle, my son and I. We go through times where, because we're talking about 10 years, well, he's 25 years of his life experience, his relative truth, what he has experienced from his view, and my experience from my view don't always mesh. So this is what I'm learning about all of life. It's not just with my son, it's with all of us. We are all one. We are all living this life and we're all experiencing this in different ways. And that's the power of the work that I am working on myself and with others. The bigger mission is to learn how to live this life in a whole new way, connected to our truth, which has a ripple effect in every aspect of our lives. It's not just about our kids. Our kids aren't the reason. They're just a catalyst to help us evolve into who we're supposed to be. That's it in a nutshell.
Right. We're coming to a close, but I can just say I was not coincidentally introduced to you. I feel like we were divinely connected, and all that had to happen for a reason. Just like all the other people chiming in, asking questions, they're here for reasons, and that's what I feel too. I even think the best teachers need to be taught. So it's like you said, you're still in this rock tumbler. It's getting smoothed out and growing and things like that. So I love to follow more about you. We're going to love to have you come back, read your book, and then sign up for hopefully everybody signs up for your September 30th master class. I encourage it. Please visit her site, enablednomore.ca. We have it up here. If you want to ask more questions, you can see it. Email us. We're going to put it on the site as fast as we can. Visit her article. Any one quick mantra you want to leave us with, or some healthy tip for the week to start our week out, Jennifer?
Oh, goodness. Well, when we heal ourselves, we heal others. When we heal ourselves, we heal others is one of my mantras. And one tip for yourself is to do something kind for yourself every single day. Kindness is a superpower. Compassion is a superpower. So, what are you doing for you today? Every single day should be the question you're asking yourself.
It's time to manifest greatness. I love it. Thank you, Jennifer, so much for spending time with us and our family. You are our family always.
Thank you.
Collaborate with you. Enjoy your wonderful day. A new life coming in to you as well. And this is Jennifer McCutcheon, enablenomore.ca, because you're in Canada. And all your events are virtual, is that correct? Or do you do
Yes.
hybrid session?
They're all virtual. Yep. All virtual.
Well, we're virtual. Here's a virtual hug to you and to everybody else. Thank you. Enjoy your day. We are all the same community. We share the same sky. Love you much. And we'll see you at our Tuesday night support group, 6 p.m. Central Standard. It's on our Facebook page. It's everywhere else on our join meeting groups section. And let's make sure I don't have another question. Michael says, outstanding job. Let the healing begin today. On that note,
Thank you.
have a great one. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.